Hey everyone, thanks for joining Learn to Play Games. My name is Lance, and in today's video we've got a brand new game coming to Kickstarter called Dragon Bleed. This is a new one from Gilgamesh Games. It is a 2 to 4 player game that takes roughly 20 to 40 minutes to play. It is a competitive game where players are trying to eliminate their opponents, and the last player standing will be the winner of the game. So in this one, the vampires in the Iron Age are still the ruling class, and they enslave and bleed humans and feed on them to stay alive. This is all starting to shift as humans have discovered that dragon's blood is the key to using sorcery, which is going to start giving them the upper hand. So you, as the players are dueling it out in this battle, you will be playing both factions, not caring which side wins, and trying to eliminate your opponents. You're going to do this by playing character, weapon, and dragon cards to do damage to your opponents. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the main features of this game and also show you a sample turn to help you to decide whether this is one you want to back or not. As always, if you find these videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button, subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we can continue to grow and be able to produce this content. If you want to stay tuned in all my videos, also consider hitting that bell so you get notifications anytime I release new stuff. I do also want to point out that all the materials that are used in this video, including the mat and everything else, are prototype materials and are subject to change. Will look a lot better in the final production copy of the game. So let's go ahead and head to the table, and we'll see what this one's all about. Throughout the game, players are going to be collecting and playing 3 different types of cards to attack their opponents. Each of these attacks is going to need a character, a weapon, and a dragon. So first, let's cover the characters. So there's going to be 2 different types of characters. You'll have human characters and vampire characters. And then each one of them is going to list the type of character it is and which color it's associated with. And there's going to be 3 colors: topaz, obsidian, and emeralds. And each one of the characters is also going to have an attack value on it. So there'll be a number of other ones included, such as a sorceress or a druid. On the vampire side, we're going to have warlocks as well as vampire queens. Then you're also going to have a weapon that works with your character. So if you're playing a human, you must use a human weapon. If you're playing a vampire, you have to use a vampire weapon. And these are going to come in a large selection as well for each one of the 3 different types. Finally, you're also going to need a dragon, and each one of the dragons, again, is going to have that color that it's associated with, and it will give you a bonus if you're using 2 or 3 of a kind of the same color. So if your character and weapon match along with the dragon, you're going to get a 3 of a kind bonus, which is going to give you an amount of attack and damage bonuses to your overall attack. If you use 2 of a kind, so say we had this example here where we have a emerald human and an emerald weapon, that would classify as 2 of a kind, and then we get the bonuses listed there. And I'll cover this a little bit more later in the video. Now that we've seen the different types of cards, let's go over a quick example of an attack. So let's go ahead and say that a player is able to play his character, weapon, and dragon during his turn. So then he is going to attack all opponents that he's playing against. And in order to determine this, he's going to roll a d10. So let's go ahead and say he rolls this value here. So he's got 70. Then he's going to go through and total up his things and make sure he doesn't get any other bonuses. So he has 2 of a kind. So he's going to get plus 20 to his attack. So now he has 90. And then it is nightfall as well. So he's also going to get plus 20 attack on this because he's using a vampire. So now he's 110. From there, then each opponent is going to roll that 10-sided die. If they are rolling under the value that he rolled, then they are going to be attacked and will take damage. If they roll over his, then they will not take any damage. So let's go ahead and say that he was attacking one opponent. We total up all of the attack values then. So he's got 10, 15 for 25, and another 10 for 35 points of damage. Then he also has the 2 of a kind, so he's going to get a plus 20 damage to that. So now he's at 55 damage. And then because it's nightfall, it also adds plus 30 to that. So now he's doing 85 damage to each opponent that fails their roll. Each time a player successfully attacks an opponent, they are going to receive a vial of dragon blood, and then they can purchase cards from the Dark Armory. These cards are going to have all kinds of different powers, such as this one here, which is an animal familiar, and it has protection. So with this one, it is going to subtract 30 attack from an attacking opponent, so make it that's an easier way to dodge that. Or we'll have possessed characters. With this, you would play this at the beginning of your turn, and if you have a Magnus in your character slot, you can replace it with this Magnus version, which is going to give you plus 20 attack, and it's going to do plus 60 damage. Now, each one of these is also going to have a cost in blood vials you must spend in order to collect it. And you'll also have other ones such as the weapon combo. And each one of these is going to do different things and will give you additional bonuses. Throughout the game, there are going to be Colossal Dragons that can be summoned as well. These are going to have 3 cards representing them, and there's going to be a collection of different Colossal Dragons that you can summon. Each of these cards is going to list a parameter that must be met in order to flip it. For example, with the Dragon Head here, you're going to flip this card over if a player uses a Vampire Thief. So then we would flip that over. When all 3 cards are revealed, the next attack that is done by any player will take advantage of this and potentially do massive amounts of damage. Again, you're going to have your damage values for each one of the spaces on a dragon, and then there also is going to be additional bonuses if there are multiples of the same kind. So right now we have 2 bone, so then we're going to add plus 10 attack and plus 10 damage to this already devastating attack, which right now we're at 95. And another 30 is going to bring us to 125, and then because we got that bonus, that's 135 points of damage on top of your attack. So just absolutely devastating attacks when these come up, and can be complete game changers as well. All right, so the final thing I want to show you is a sample turn in action to give you a good idea how this one plays. So during each player's turn, there's a number of steps that player is going to do in order. First off, at the beginning of their turn, there are certain cards such as the Dark Armory cards or Thief cards that must be played at the beginning of that player's turn. So at this point, that's when the player will do that. From there, then the player can also choose to play a time shift card if they wish to change day to night or night to day, which is going to give different bonuses depending upon which character faction or which faction the character is part of. After that, then you are going to move into getting rid of cards. So each player, or the active player, is going to look at their cards in their hand and choose if they want to get rid of any of them. So for example, let's go ahead and say that my player, I really need a couple of other different cards here. So I'm going to go ahead and discard a couple of these. So I'm going to discard these 2, and I can choose to place them in either one of the discard piles that are in front of me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to get to take that many cards back out. So I'm going to take 1 from the discard pile, and then I'm also going to take 1 from the top of the deck. From there, then I am going to move into the rest of my turn where I can play cards onto my 3 areas: my character, my weapon, and my dragon. So I just so happen to have 3 of those types of cards that I would like to play. So I'm going to go ahead and play a Vampire Warlock. And then I happen to pull up the Vampire Extractor. And I did pick up that other dragon there, which gives me a little bit better points. And it just so happens that all 3 of these are obsidian cards, so they're going to give me a big bonus at the end here. So from here, now, if I had not played all 3 of my cards yet and I had not performed an attack, I would move on to step 7. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and resolve the attack. So now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and resolve the attack. So I'm going to, first off, let's go ahead and total all this up and see where I'm sitting right now. So I have 15 and 15 for 30 and another 10 for 40 points. Then I have 3 of a kind, so it's going to add another 30 points of damage to that. So that's going to bring me to 70. And then because it's night, I'm also going to add another 30 points of damage. So that is going to give me 100 points of damage to my opponents if they fail their roll. Then I also get a bonus to my attack roll. I'm going to receive 30 points or 30 bonus to my attack from having the 3 of a kind. And I also receive plus 20 because it's night. So I'm going to add 50 to whatever I roll. So let's go ahead and roll and find out. And I rolled a 20, so that is going to give me a roll of 70. From there, then each one of my opponents is going to go ahead and roll, and we'll go ahead and see what they get. And he got 100, but let's go ahead and say that he ended up rolling 40, which is less than my attack roll. So my attack was successful and would do 100 points of damage to him. Now each player is going to have 500 points or 500 hit points that they will have until they are eliminated. So my player over here has already taken 100 points of damage. From there, since the attack was successful, I will receive a blood vial or dragon blood vial. I will flip night to day, or day to night, depending upon which one this was. And then I will also have a choice. I can either purchase a card from the Dark Armory that's already been revealed by spending the Dragon Blood, or I can reveal a new card and potentially choose that. As I don't have enough for that one, I'm not going to reveal a new one yet because I might want to try to go after that one. So I'm just going to hold on to this at this point. Then the cards that I used will be discarded to the master discard pile. This is the pile that you will not be able to go through to gain other cards. And then you might also want to go through and make sure that there wasn't any cards that were revealed from this. For the Colossal Dragon. So this one is flip a card if a player attacks with any human sorcerer. I did not. Flip this card over if a player attacks with a Emerald Vampire Extractor, which I did not. And then we need the Werewolf Thief for that one. So I have not revealed any of those in at this time. So that is going to end my turn, and I will draw back up to my hand size of 4 cards. So since I spent those 3, so I get 3 more cards to get me to my minimum of 4 cards in my hand. Now the Dark Armory cards and that will not count against my hand limit, and there might be other ways of getting cards into your hand. From there, it's going to pass the next player in clockwise order to take their turn. So let's go ahead and move over to this player here and see what we have. So we have a couple of cards here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop, or I'm going to play a time shift card first. So that'll go to the master discard, and this is going to change it to nighttime. And then I'm going to go ahead and discard this Emerald Dragon, and that lets me, and I'll get to draw 2 cards. So I'm going to go ahead and draw 2 from the main, and then I'm going to get to play cards. So I'm going to play this Topaz Dragon and a Vampire Extractor. Now, unfortunately, I did not have a character to play there to complete that, but at that point, then it would move on to my turn, and I would draw back up to my hand size of 4 cards. And I think I'll just take another one off the top. So from there, then it's going to move back to the other player to go. So let's go ahead and go through one more sequence of this. So let's see what we got here. I am going to, let's go ahead and I'm going to drop these 2 here. Yeah. And try to do a blind draw first. So I have a vampire, and I'll do another one. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Vampire Queen there. And that's pretty much all I can do at this point. So then I'll draw that card to replace that, and my turn is over. So then it's going to move back over to my other player here. He's still working on trying to get a character for this. So let's go ahead and play, or I'm going to go ahead and discard these 2 cards here. Actually, I'm going to discard these 3, and I'm going to try to draw, hopefully, another character. I did not. All right, so that will finish off his turn, and it'll go back to my other player. And this is going to continue going back and forth until all of your opponents are eliminated, at which point then you are going to be the winner of the game. So I hope you found this video helpful in deciding whether or not this is one you will want to back on Kickstarter. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Or swing by the Kickstarter's main page, drop any questions you have there as well. I'm sure they would love to hear from you, and are more than happy to answer any questions you have. Until next time, I'll see you later.